Welcome back, everyone. In our previous lecture, we answered an important question: why should an AI engineer study automata theory? We discussed three important concepts: language, automata, computation. Today, we move one step further. We shall study the first computational model called the finite automata, understand its formal mathematical representation, and learn how a machine recognizes a language. The reference book is Introduction to the Theory of Computation, the third edition by Michael Sipser. Before defining a finite automata mathematically, let us understand why we need it. What exactly is a computer? Most people think of a laptop or a smartphone. In theoretical computer science, we think differently. A computer is simply a computational model. Different computational models have different computational power. Today we begin with the simplest computational model, the finite state automaton. A finite automaton has only a finite amount of memory. It cannot remember everything. It remembers only its current state. This limitation makes it simple but extremely useful. Example: the first example, automatic door controller of at a supermarket, is a perfect example of a finite automata. The controller has two states: door closed and door open. When a sensor detects a person, it changes from closed to open. After a short delay, it returns to closed. Notice that the controller doesn't remember who entered 5 minutes ago, it only remembers its current state. Now, taking an example 2, consider an elevator controller. The controller has more information to remember. Which floor is the elevator on? Is the door open? Has anyone pressed a button? Each of these situations can be represented as states. Again, the elevator behaves as a finite state machine. Now we will move from intuition to mathematics. A finite automata is represented by the five tuple M with capital Q, sigma, delta, Q naught, F. Let's understand each component. Capital Q, finite set of states. Think of them as a different situation in which the machine can exist. Sigma, the input alphabet, the set of symbols the machine can read. Delta is the transition function. This tells the automaton, if I am at this state, receive this input, where should I go next? Q naught is the initial state. Every computation begins here, and the F is the final or accepting state. If after reading the entire input, the machine reaches one of these states, the string is accepted. So, this hierarchy summarizes everything we learned in the previous lecture. We begin with the alphabet. From the alphabet, we construct the strings. Strings satisfying a rule form a language. An automaton processes the strings. The execution of the automation is the computation. Whenever you study a new automation, always ask these five questions: what is the alphabet? What are the strings? What language is to be recognized? What automaton recognizes it? How does the computation proceed? Taking this as an example, this is the finite state automaton. How many states are there? Q1, Q2, Q3. What is the alphabet? Input 0 and 1. The delta is the transition table which takes the rows as the states and inputs as the columns. And the transition, for example, let us take the second row, that is in Q2, if you get an input 0, it goes to Q3. And in Q2, if you take the input 1, it remains at Q2. That's what it is written here. Q1 is the start state. If you see an arrow starting before the start state with an arrow, that is the Q1 is the start state, and the final state will have a double circle. This is one of the important definitions in automata theory. Suppose a machine accepts certain strings. Collect all those accepted strings into one set. That set is called the language recognized by the machine. The language, the A is the language of the machine M, which is written like L of M is equal to A, where A is the set of all strings accepted by the machine. Notice the distinction. A machine does not accept only one string, it recognizes an entire language. Example, like W contains at least one and an even number of zeros follow the last. Can you predict whether the string 10100 will be accepted or not? Let us see the demonstration. 10100. So with 1 at the Q1 is the starting state. We go here 1, then we get a 0. So at Q2 0, you go to Q3, then 1. So from Q3, if you give input 1, you go to Q2, then 0. At Q2, if you get 0, it goes to Q3, and then 0. At Q3, when we get 0, it goes to Q2. So Q2 is the final state. So that's why this is accepted. So 10100 is accepted by this automaton. This slide reinforces an important message. Students often jump directly to automata and start drawing. Instead, always start from the language. The language determines the automata, not the other way around. So every computation begins with an input string. A string is simply a finite sequence of symbols from an alphabet. For example, the alphabet 01, possible strings are 101, 110, 001. So any combination with this binary numbers and also an epsilon. Then the automaton reads the input string one symbol at a time. Language is simply a set of strings. Not every string belongs to a language. Only those satisfying a specified rule are included. This idea is similar to the mathematics. A set contains only elements satisfying a given property. Similarly, a language contains only strings satisfying a given rule. Now let me ask an important and interesting question. Suppose a machine rejects every string. What language does it recognize? You may say no language. Actually, it recognizes one language, that is called the empty language. That is the empty language here. So that is phi, and which contains no strings. Notice the difference between empty string, that is epsilon, and the empty language. Both are different, but phi and other one is the epsilon. So the empty string is one string of length 0. An empty language contains no strings at all. So this slide helps us understand how languages are specified. The strings ending with 1, with A, that is one of the your L of M1. So this language by the automata machine M1 ends in A. The language which is identified by automata machine M2 is an empty string epsilon or ends in a 0. And language described by the automata M3 accepts strings that start and end with the same symbol A and B. So now we connect everything given this automaton. Can you identify the initial state, final state, alphabet, transition function? These are exactly the 5 components of the mathematical function. Solve it on your own before you check the solution. So this assignment is designed to help you convert a graphical representation into a mathematical one. So whenever you are given a DFA, always perform these 4 steps. Identify all the states. Here we are having Q1, Q2. Identify the alphabet 0 and 1. Write the transition table with states in the rows and columns which depict the alphabets. Determine the language accepted. Here it is accepting any string that ends with 1. So today's key takeaway is simple. A finite automata is not designed first. We first define the language and then construct an automaton that recognizes exactly that language. This principle forms the foundation of the deterministic finite automata design. Another important question remains. Suppose I give you a language. How do you know how many states are needed to recognize it? Can every language be recognized using two states or three, four? In the next lecture, we shall learn a systematic approach to designing DFAs from language specifications and understand how the information that a machine must remember determines the minimum number of states required. Thank you.